Bob Downe.
Hello.
But what's your real name?
Mark Trevorrow.
Oh,
It's a good
okay.
Cornish name.
Cornish.
Cornish.
Okay.
It's got a W on you. People think it's Italian because it's at Trevorrow. You know, it sounds Italian.
Yes.
But it's Cornish from Cornwall in England.
Okay.
One
That's
of
where
the
you
5
come
Celtic kingdoms.
And we were wondering whether, your real hair would be red or something.
No. Why am I dyeing it grey? That's what I want to know.
Okay, so tell me, how did you get into comedy?
I was a journalist. I was a cadet reporter on the Melbourne Herald Sun. When I was a kid, I started as a copy boy when I was 17.
Wow.
And when you're young, you're hanging out with a whole lot of your friends, college friends, and work friends. And we decided we'd put on a show at a party at our flat in South Yarra in Melbourne. And the show went so well that we started working the cabaret circuit in Melbourne. It was a group called the Globos. And we ended up getting a record deal, and we had 2 hit records with Mushroom Records in 1982 and 83. And then we all went to Sydney. We got booked when Kinsella's opened as a cabaret, and we just hit huge in Sydney. Then after a couple of years of that, I invented Bob 40 years ago in September 1984, and I sort of started singing. The group was a lip sync act, lip syncing old records and TV shows. And then I created Bob, and I started singing the songs that I used to lip sync in the Globo, and that's how Bob was created. He's like all the TV entertainers that I grew up watching on TV in Melbourne in the 60s, because in the 60s and 50s in Australia all the TV was local, there was no national TV, so all the local performers were all showbiz people, they came from the old variety circuits. So that's it, that's what inspired Bob.
So how did you get the name Bob Downe then?
Because it first started off being a sketch in a 2-hander show that I was doing with my friend Kathy, and I needed a name. I was doing an interview, a fake interview, and I needed a sign-off name. You know how you go, Bob Downe, entertainment tonight. And I just needed a name with this character, and it was a real throwaway. And if I'd known that it was going to end up being a solo act, I probably would have thought of something much more clever. But it's great that it's so simple.
Yeah, because when I told my husband I'm going to interview Bob Downe, he's like,
yeah, Bob Downe, exactly. It's a fun name. It's simple too, nice simple name.
Yeah, that's good. But how did you? What inspired you, in your comedy sketch and monologues and all that? So how did you get all that?
Well, I've always been obsessed with pop culture, pop and media, newspapers, magazines, television, radio, pop music. So everything comes out of me being interested in what's going on in the pop culture. So it's observational. It's just silly observational. And then I'm making up all that stuff about Bob's family, So giving him a history and a backstory.
Will you one day show a real family,
Yeah.
I think it would be funny.
My real family, they all sit there going like this. Because they've seen it all since I was a kid. See, Bob is really me as a little boy, showing off. That's why Bob's so childish.
Okay. But it's always difficult, I feel, to be always, funny and whatever.
There's a lot of technique involved.
Yeah.
And what you see when you see a show now, you see 40 years of working up a live act. It takes 10, 15 years to become a really first-rate comedian. It's very technical. Tell the joke, let them know you've told the joke, wait for the laugh. All these, it's very technical. But once you nail it, it's not that it's easy, but it's just
comes natural.
You know how to do it. You find out how to do it. There's a lot of technique involved. And you make it look simple, but it's not.
Yeah. But in real life, are you always that funny as well?
No.
No.
I'm too exhausted to be funny in real life. I save it all for the sake. No, that's not true. I am funny with my friends and family.
Okay.
My husband's the only person who doesn't laugh at my joke.
Okay. So if you're angry, are you funny angry or?
I can be sarcastic. I grew up, I think comics are born from families that use humour and sarcasm.
Yes.
And I came from a very sarcastic family on both sides, on mum's side and dad's side. I grew up in a house that loved comedy. So we all grew up with Pete and Dud and the Monty Python and the Goons and Norman Gunson, Barry Humphries. We had comedy albums in the days when people listened to records of comedy. And so everybody was very funny and smart. My dad was funny. My mum was really funny. I think the comics are born coming from a family that uses humour to cut tension.
Yeah.
And bring people down a few, spots when they're being arrogant or over the top.
Mm.
Yeah.
So how long do you think you will be doing this?
Until I qualify for the pension.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, that's funny. That's good. Somebody write that down.
And you said you're coming back on the 13th
Oh, you bet.
of
On the 13th
October.
of October.
Ah, that's
And then
good.
hopefully we've penciled another few in November and December to see how we go. But
Okay.
definitely October the 13th.
Oh, that's
And I
good.
think these are, what a perfect time to do a show. Sunday afternoon, everybody's so relaxed and in such a good mood, and they know they're not going to have a late night.
Mm.
I love doing matinees.
Yeah.
I do love doing matinees. This is me. This is
Oh,
my record. This is
okay.
one of my
You're
records.
still
Yes,
selling
my
your
cover of-
records?
Yeah, I made a record of I Will Survive. There's 2 Bob albums on Spotify.
Yeah.
One called Greatest Hits and one called Jazzy. So,
Okay.
so have a listen on
Okay.
Spotify.
Okay, people
It's
can.
Bob Down with an E, like Liza.
Yeah. Okay. So on 13 October, are they going to see something
No,
different?
it'll be this show again.
Or is it going to
Yeah.
be the same show? Okay. All
Give
right.
me a break.
Well, if it's a different show, they might come back and
Oh, I
you
think
know,
I'll
see.
spread the word and bring friends. That's
Okay,
hopefully.
okay, that's good, that's good. So, if I were to market this event, what would I say to people? Why would they should come, for your show?
He's Australia's Prince of Polyester. He sings, he dances, he takes very good care of his hair. You'll laugh until you don't.
That's good. Thank you so much, Mark.
Yeah, thank you.